Inside is more Braille.
No.
10 rock mounds, each with an inscription.
Maybe it's Braille because the people who came down here had their eyes exploded because you hit blood the water. Blind people are diving, Nintendo. I'm sorry to say this, but there ain't no blind people in the soup, Nintendo. Why catching this Pokemon was almost impossible. Hi. My name is Master Sky, and welcome to MandJTV.
It's Pikachu!
Fair warning, my Pokemon knowledge is very limited, so my singular brain cell that I lended from a friend will be working overtime. So, I'm depending on all of you to help explain things to me in the comments. But before we begin, please guys, for me, leave a like, a funny comment for me to read, and as always, subscribe. Now sit down, grab a snack, and let's get right into it.
Legendary Pokemon that are not central to the plot often require some work to obtain. Find them deep within optional dungeons.
Okay, question 1. What is a legendary Pokemon? Is God a legendary Pokemon? Is Darkrai a legendary Pokemon? Is Arceus? I think Arceus is just God. What defines a legendary Pokemon versus something like Malweta, which I think is a mythical Pokemon? What defines a legendary?
Chase them around the region, collect a bunch of stakes in the ground, etc. But that is all child.
A 3D Pokemon game? Impossible. Also, he's doing the rock eyebrow raise meme.
Play compared to the most complex Pokemon quest of all time.
What's that?
Catching Regigigas in Gen 4.
Regigigas. You cannot tell me you out here naming Pokemon Reggie. That's like naming my Pokemon Greg. Greg the housekeeper.
I wanted to revisit this chapter of Pokemon's history to demonstrate its insanity to those of you who've never done it.
Oh yeah.
But even if you have done this
Insanity. Crazy? I was crazy once. They put me in a room with rats. The rats made me crazy. Crazy? I was crazy once.
Come along to reminisce. And while you do, there's something I want you to keep in mind to kind of frame the whole thing. Imagine
he has really nice brown eyes.
Trying to do this without the internet or a guidebook. The quest begins.
Wait,
in Ruby,
I wasn't listening.
Sapphire,
Wait, holy crap! I was looking into your really sexy eyes. Holy shit! Wait, hang on. Go back.
Imagine trying to do this without the internet
I'm paying attention.
or a guidebook. The quest begins in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Yes,
right.
The previous generation. At some point in your adventure,
that was the previous generation? That looks like it came out in the 90s.
You likely came upon some strange rock structures. The ones most likely to be found organically are in the desert and then on the southern half of Route 120.
Those look like normal rocks to me.
Decided to explore Route 105.
Hey man, I think you're foolish.
Heidelberg to
Oh, this reminds me of Deltarune. Chapter 3, the tenor one.
You may have seen the third. However,
Rock.
they're just rocks. There's no way to do anything other
Then they're not just rocks, don't you? They could be so much more. Maybe if you believed in them, they wouldn't just be rocks. I don't know, man.
Walk around them. Things can change though as soon as you have the Moss Deep City Gym badge, allowing you to use dive outside of battle.
Wait, those look like kids. I thought you have to be an adult to be a gym leader. Huh?
If you find your way to Pacifilog Town, which, fun fact, is completely optional for the main story. It's one of the very few towns in older Pokemon that is.
Ooh.
You will quickly discover that to the west is a series of routes with western flowing currents. It's a unique setup requiring multiple passes through in order to see everything. During one of those passes,
I don't know, this is like old Minecraft logic. I don't know if the ocean works like that.
You're likely to see a dark patch of water where you can dive. But reaching
the sea is deep here, would you like to dive? No! What the f*** you mean? I shouldn't swear. I apologize.
It can be tricky. If you don't surf from one of 2 specific tiles on this landmass, you'll miss it and have to try again. But you can definitely reach it with just a little bit of trial and error. Once diving down, you'll enter a small room that exits into a chasm, but it's
How are you breathing underwater?
short and a dead end. The only thing of interest is text engraved in the wall, but it's Braille? This is an immediate spike in absurdity.
Braille, that's like when you have to touch it to read it, right?
Sure, the dive spot.
Which, like, it's on a screen. behind a 40. You can't touch Braille when it's not physical.
Deep in an optional route.
I don't know if you can read Braille, but just looking at it, Braille readers in the comments, help me out here.
It's very reachable for anyone doing their due diligence of exploration. But then suddenly, you're greeted with symbols you may have never seen before. Because the only people that normally use them cannot see.
Bro, that's what I'm saying! Also, I keep getting distracted by your gorgeous eyes, MandJTV. Someone need to lock you up. You can't be let loose.
And what's striking about this inscription is that there is no in-game way to translate it. At least...
I mean... yeah, that's like... that's like 90% of game secrets. You have to, like, go do the work yourself.
Not yet. You must have external help, which is rare for a Pokémon game.
Oh, it is?
So, how can you translate it? Well, it depends on where you live. Japanese and Australian copies of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald included an insert with a translation chart, and European copies had one in the instruction booklet. But North American copies didn't, instead including a trainer tip recommending that players contact Nintendo for help with Braille. Contact Nintendo? What do you mean?
Well, you want us to help you? I'm sorry, but we have to sue this kid for being named Mario. We ain't got time for your shenanigans.
It's 2003! How are we supposed to do that? Mail them stone tablets? I personally was able to translate the line because I insisted on having a guidebook for my earlier games, and mine included a Braille chart with it.
I have never gotten a guidebook for, like, anything, ever.
Okay, that's not entirely true. The book did have a Braille chart, but the page on the sealed chamber just straight up told you what it said.
Oh, that defeats the purpose!
To think about the kids, and maybe you were one of these kids, that did not have access to the internet or a guidebook. How were they supposed to translate this? Well, the answer was real Braille. Turns out the alphabets are identical, at least in English. So after you find some external source to translate the Braille, you can see that this inscription reads, "Go up here." You can ascend from your dive anywhere in the chasm, but only directly in front of the inscription will lead you to the sealed chamber.
I feel like I would have tried that naturally.
Inside is more Braille.
No.
10 rock mounds, each with an inscription.
Maybe it's Braille because the people who came down here had their eyes exploded because you hit underwater. Black people are diving, Nintendo. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't think they're going to the water to see. There ain't no blind people in the soup, Nintendo.
It's a lot to go through. But actually, not really. You see, the wider mounds just spell out the alphabet in order, while the two smaller ones are the symbols for a period and a comma. Assuming you're able to infer that this is the alphabet, this is your in-game way of translating the Braille. But it's after the first
Yeah. How do you translate the Braille without the translation of the... How do you... Penis.
Inscription. The only way you reach this is if you accidentally hit B twice when backing out of the "Go up here" inscription. Which, now that I think about it, would have been insanely awesome. Could you imagine? You're just
that's so sick. Counterpoint, I wasn't listening.
Trying to go back up to when backing out of the "Go up here" inscription.
MandJ!
Which,
stop with those eyes! You gotta stop.
Now that I think about it, would have been insanely awesome. Could you imagine? You're just trying to go back up to the route.
Could you imagine dragons? These nuts?
B and you're like, okay, I guess I'll just go up here. And then you're in a new place. Ha-ha! It is I, Guarantee Boy. Hey, man. What's with all the bandages on your face?
I smell a sponsor.
Despite my fabulous beard, I do still have to shave parts of my face and neck. Yet how I'm currently doing it gets my skin...
Stop with the voice.
And me so irritated.
So irritating.
I have a solution for you. The sponsor of this video, Manscaped. What are you trying to say? That they just came out with the Chairman Pro package, a set that gives you everything for a perfect face shave? Oh. That's funny. You see, I thought you were trying to imply that my face looks like... The package includes 3 pieces. The first is the Chairman Pro Shaver with a 360-degree contouring head.
Damn, okay, you actually kind of fit. Holy crap, I was not expecting that.
Interchangeable skin-safe blade heads. One for a close shave and the other for a sophisticated stubble look. It's waterproof so you can use it in the shower, and it gets 75 minutes of runtime on a single charge. Ooh, that sounds quite nice.
Who is shaving for 75 minutes?
It also comes with their Power Shave Gel, made specifically to work with the Chairman Pro to give you a smooth, comfortable shave. Then to finish off, you can use the Face Shave Soother, an aftershave serum to hydrate your skin and soothe any irritation. Both are dermatologist tested for sensitive skin. Oh, perfect. I'm very sensitive.
Me too.
In more ways than one.
Also, this guy looks like Connor. Have I said that? I feel like I've said that.
The Chairman Pro package is the way to go to upgrade your grooming routine. Use code JTV20.
He looks like if Connor if he wasn't British and more from Copenhagen.
For 20% off your order plus free shipping. Linked in the description below. Fantastic! I will do that right away. And I'm glad we cleared up any confusion. Otherwise, things could have turned ugly. Ta-ta!
Ta-ta! Jolly good show!
The description on the back wall simply translates to dig here. This requires having a Pokemon use dig in that spot, which is a pretty surprising requirement. Dig is a TM move, and there's only one TM for dig in the...
That's what TM moves... Oh my... I played the entirety of Colosseum without figuring out. I was like, what? I was getting these TMs, and I was like, what is this? I don't know what a TM is!
Entire game. So if
you teach them all!
You'd have to use the move.
I am so stupid!
Or find a Pokemon that learns it by level up. In the Gen 3 Hoenn games, those Pokemon are Trapinch at 41 or Nincada at 45. Yikes! So if you're like me and never use TMs that break, you likely have to leave to get a Pokemon you're willing to teach it to. Then come back and use dig at the door. It can be a bit confusing since the dialogue when using it says, do you want to escape and return to underwater? But if you ignore that dialogue, instead of escape roping out, the wall falls open and you can enter the final
dig. I was expecting you to dig downwards, not forward.
Chamber. And finally, within that, you'll find
more Braille.
More Braille. Inside are 7 new mounts. The one at the back of the room is the most important one, but if you take the time to translate the others, you'll get some background about the people who constructed this strange place. In this cave we have lived. We owe all to the Pokemon, but we sealed the Pokemon away.
Now, question! Why were the people living underground writing Braille? Oh, because it's dark, they couldn't see! That's genius.
We feared it. Those with courage, those with hope, open a door. An eternal Pokemon waits. A bit of an aside here, I know I've kind of like...
Is Greg like supposed to be like a powerful Pokemon?
Complained about needing external information to do this quest. But I gotta say, if you're doing this, not knowing where it's going, and not having external information...
Kind of cool.
That is kind of sick.
I know!
This is like Indiana Jones archaeology stuff in a video game. And frankly,
I'm kind of into it.
I kind of wish I didn't have my guidebook. No, that's not true. I kind of wish I didn't have the guidebook now. But as a 9-year-old, this would have just pissed me off. Getting into the lore a bit, this passage has always confused me. There's some slight differences among the languages, but the singular it seems to imply...
Is this a cutscene or is this like from the anime? What the heck?
1 Pokemon, not 3.
Are there cutscenes in any of the Pokemon games? I don't think so.
The Japanese translation on Bulbapedia mentions how they don't have a subject at all, singular or plural, but then they still write it out as an eternal Pokemon. But of course, things do often get lost in translation. The way this is written has led to theories that the passages are teasing Regigigas, maybe sealing its subordinates away to weaken the leader. Pretty fascinating if they were thinking that far ahead.
Is Greg powerful? I thought he was just like another average Pokemon.
But returning to the quest itself, the final mound says one of 2 things, depending on your game version. In Ruby and Sapphire, it says first comes Relicanth.
Wait! Are you telling me that Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire shares the same world? So like, it's basically Nuketown, you can go to the exact same place, but it's a different story. Oh my god! So it's different stories between Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire. But it's the same map. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm into that. That feels like Call of Duty levels of lazy.
Last comes Waylord. Emerald simply switches the positioning of
if they add new places to the map, I guess it's okay.
Two Pokemon. The wording is a bit tricky, but it's not a crazy logic jump to figure out that first means the first position in your Pokemon party, and last means the last one. However,
I would not have guessed that, gotta be honest.
The Pokemon required are pretty difficult to obtain. Let's start with Waylord. If you did not use one on your team, this will be tedious. You have to do
I have a phobia against whales. I don't know. Seeing a massive submerged object like that, I would shed.
The following. Fish for a high-level Wailmer, then level it up one level. Find the 1% surfing Waylord on Route 129, or grind up a normally leveled Wailmer. Regardless of the method, it is time-consuming. Relicanth might be faster, but it's definitely trickier. Because if you're doing this back in 2003, there's a very real chance that you don't know it exists. If you'd seen something external listing all of the Hoenn Pokemon, you would of course know about it. But if not, then it is exceedingly likely that you've never encountered it at all. Relicanth has no evolutions and is not used by any trainers. The only place to see it
go back.
And is not used by
Why is everyone in swimsuits?
By any trainers.
What's going on there?
The only place to see it is where you obtain it. Underwater seaweed on Route 124 or 126, and with only a 5% spawn rate. You also move much slower underwater than when surfing, so encounters are infrequent. It took me 15 minutes of doing nothing but intentionally hunting for it before the first one even appeared.
I have been hunting this stupid Relicanth for 15 minutes.
So if reading this braille is your first time encountering the word
30 actually.
Relicanth, you're gonna need some external source to figure out what and where this thing is.
Does the M on his hat stand for McDonald's? Or is it like something else?
And then, speaking from experience, probably get kind of annoyed when looking for it. Taking a moment to pivot to some lore, what is the significance of Relicanth and Waylord? Well, Bulbapedia says the following. The significance of why Waylord and Relicanth are needed might have something to do with a general theme of the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games, the relationship between land and sea. Relicanth is based on the coelacanth, a creature that is considered to be closely related to the ancestors of all land-living vertebrates. Waylord is based on the whale, a creature whose ancestors once lived on land, but have since evolved to live in the ocean. That's pretty interesting.
Why did they get so big though?
Anyways, without knowing this was coming, it is extremely unlikely that you have both these Pokemon in your party, so you have to leave again and go obtain them. This could be quick if you get lucky, or time-consuming if not. But once you have them, you go all the way back down, put them in the correct positions, and interact with the back wall inscription. Then, this happens.
Okay. Is the door open?
How did your family's moving truck get down there? It sounds like I'm making a joke, but it's the same sound.
Kinda.
I don't know why they thought that sound would fit there.
I mean, it does, if you don't know what the sound is.
Why not use the sound effect of using earthquake? But the end result is that something has opened. It's strange that it says a door when it was very clearly 3 noises, but hey, you did it! Figure out that those weird rock structures are what opened? I'm not sure how, but like it's doable, sure. And then
how did you get that rock structures from under the water?
Inside, you will finally find an empty room. The inscriptions say different things depending on what cave you're in and what game.
I would have just been like, no, kill me, shoot me.
Let's start with the desert ruins. In Ruby and Sapphire, it says right, down, then use strength. Moving in the way it describes, and then using strength will open the door. Emerald is similar, but not quite the same. Instead, it's left, left, down, down, then use Rock Smash. This one could be a bit more confusing because normally you cannot use Rock Smash unless you are facing a rock, but Dig also said it was gonna send you back to underwater and didn't, so hopefully by this time you understand that like stuff's gonna get a little weird. Once inside, you can finally battle and try to catch Regirock with some frankly awesome music. Next is the Island Cave.
You're not even going to play the music? Oh, might probably copyrighted. I know, wouldn't be copyrighted. This game is so old.
In Ruby and Sapphire,
Then again, it is Nintendo, so who knows?
the inscription says, "Stop and wait. Wait for time to pass twice." What do you mean, time pass twice? Turns out it means 2 minutes. You have to literally leave your game sitting open,
For
doing
2
nothing,
minutes.
for 2 minutes. I guess
Wow.
it's a forced water break. Want you to have a glass before you get the ice to put in the glass. In Emerald, they make it a bit less annoying. Instead, it's stay close to the wall, run around 1 lap. This one is pretty straightforward, and you don't have to do it perfectly for it to work. Inside is the battle with Regice. Finally is the Ancient Tomb. This one has the
There's so much versions of Greg, I'm losing
least
it.
literal instructions. In Ruby and Sapphire, it says, with new time, hope, and love, aim to the sky in the middle. Okay, so we just had time pass twice, so new time could be, maybe we cross over to the start of a new hour, maybe? The hope and love, maybe those represent like specific Pokemon. I don't know what the middle is, and then aim to the sky. Like, for Team Sky! Then in Emerald it says, those who inherit our will shine in the middle. Okay, inherit our will.
Those who inherit our will shine in the middle. I'm gonna go make a sandwich and go to sleep. my reaction for real.
Mawile? You need a Mawile in your party? And then shine. Again in the middle. What is the middle? What is happening here? This one appears to be the toughest to interpret by far of this entire quest so far. Like, how are we possibly supposed to do this? Well, the answer is to ignore the first half of all of these messages. All of that other stuff, the new time, hope, love, crap, they're just yapping. It means nothing. The middle actually just refers to the tile in the exact middle of the room, and the other instructions are once again outside of Battle Moon.
Hang on.
The exact middle of the room, and the other
Vegeta, Batman.
instructions are once again outside of Battle
I love the
Moons.
Pokemon names.
Aim to the sky.
That's probably one of my favorite
fly,
parts about
and
Pokemon.
shine is flash. Again, moves that you normally would not be able to do in that room. Using them in the center.
You could use moves while the Pokemon's in your inventory. I don't know you can take them out.
Open the final door.
That's because I've never played one of these. That's not Reggie! Nintendo!
Allowing you to battle Registeel. Also, if you care about Oris, almost everything is identical to Ruby and Sapphire.
Please end
The
it.
go up here spot is easier to see. The dig
That's way cooler.
TM can be used endlessly. Relicanth is found in more places. There's no 1% Wailord, and the wording of some of the Braille is a bit different, but has the same meaning. But aside from that, everything else is the same. So after all of that, you will finally have the 3 Reggies from Hoenn.
Great! That's not Reggie though.
But what about Regigigas? Regigigas is found in the Snow Point Temple in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But the player may only enter if they are the champion and have the National Pokedex. As a reminder, to get the National Pokedex, you have to have seen every Pokemon in Sinnoh. Most of them will happen naturally by becoming champion. However, there are some you're gonna have to go out of your way for. You gotta look at some books, you gotta catch Rotom at night, you gotta make Mesprit run away, and you gotta at least battle the other 2 Lake Guardians. I had to do this to record footage for this video, and let me tell you, I never want to see an Azelf again. But then you can finally enter the temple. You can descend all the way down.
Wait, he said to enter this, he said this place is in like a different version of Pokemon. So, what was the point of collecting the 3 in the other Pokemon game?
And, oh my gosh, Regigigas just standing there. Solve the ice puzzle.
He's just
interact
standing
with
there.
it, and the game refers to it as a statue. I'll say the paint job has held up remarkably well. But then near Regigigas, an inscription reads, a body of rock, a body of ice, a body of steel. When gathers the 3 Pokemon, the king shall appear. By
that's
this time,
why I need this 3.
The Regis have been out for several years. You know they exist, and this is very obvious. You need to have the 3 smaller Regis in your party.
Watch there be a 4th one suddenly.
To awaken Big Regigigas. However, you can't get the Regis in Sinnoh at all. Okay, that's not exactly right, but it's mostly right. In Platinum, there are some chambers where you can obtain the Regis. Those ones where you walk in and it's a big room and there's like just a Nevermelt Ice or a metal coat and nothing else. But the Regis only appear there if you have a Fateful Encounter Regigigas. Like, one distributed from an event. You're putting this out of order, Pokemon! But outside of this method, which involves already having a Regigigas, the original trio are completely unobtainable not only in Sinnoh, but in all of Gen 4.
So for me to understand this, to access this special Pokemon, you have to transfer Pokemon from a previous game to this one. How? Is there like an online service? How do you transfer your Pokemon?
That's why I covered the crazy Reggie quest in the Hoenn games, because that is the only realistic and reliable way to get the 3 Regis you need to get Regigigas. And that's not only a different game, a different generation. So in summary, to catch Regigigas in Gen 4 Sinnoh, you have to get 7 badges in a Hoenn game, learn a new alphabet, fetch various specific rare Pokemon, do a bunch of silly tasks, catch all 3 Regis, get the National Dex in Sinnoh, transfer in the 3 Regis in Pal Park, then go catch Regigigas. Level 70 in Diamond and Pearl and, weirdly, level 1 in Platinum. I focused on Gen 4 for this video because they made Regigigas way easier to obtain in later games. For example, in Oris, you catch it in the same cave as Regice once you have all 3. Then in BDSP, the original Regi trio can be caught in Raminus Park. The same game that Regigigas.
What Pokemon game is this? This looks really charming.
Is in. But getting it in Gen 4 is the most convoluted and insane Pokemon quest in history. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out another one of my explainer style videos, check out my video about why I think Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl are the worst Pokemon games in all of Pokemon history.
Alright, so the worst Pokemon games and why. That looks like something that'll be really fun. So, if you'd like me to react to that, do let me know in the comments below. This one I could somewhat understand, so yay. But for now, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye! Hi! If you like this video, then please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We also stream every Friday on Twitch at twitch.tv/themastersky. Or if you really love me, wink wink, then come support us on Patreon at patreon.com/mastersky to stay up to date with all of our new projects. And we also have a Discord server. We're looking for new members, so come say hey. Looking forward to seeing you there. Bye bye!